It's called the Chinese martini. Hot water and lemon.
When I went to high school, it was like war, basically.
It's so short.
Wait till you turn 30.
I think I'm having a quarter life crisis.
Get uncomfortable to be
be
comfortable.
Enjoy the heat of the coffee.
Yeah, you want the warmth.
Yeah.
Not some lukewarm, like...
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
If you're going to have hot coffee, have hot coffee or tea. And if it's going to be cold, put ice in it. And like,
Yeah, it's either
no
cold,
in between.
It's either cold or hot. I can drink room temperature water, though. I do prefer that.
But water is water. Water doesn't...
How do you like your water, like
Room
ice cold,
temperature.
room temperature? Yeah.
Well, because it's easier to drink. Have you ever tried to chug a cold bottle of water?
Yeah, you can't chug
it's
it.
very hard.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a cold sip of water in the middle of the night.
No, I disagree.
I've never experienced
I don't want cold water in the middle of the night.
No, unless you're like, you're waking up
I'm like
hot.
dying, like your lips are chapped, you're freaking...
No, but
Nothing hits more than
No.
like cold water.
No, if you're like dying from chap, you want to be able to chug. You can't chug cold.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I went to China, they don't drink any cold water, and they don't even drink lukewarm water. They just drink hot water. Like they're going to the machine and they're filling up
That's good.
their cup with hot water.
It must be good for you.
I
Yeah,
think
they-
so.
No,
They're all skinny.
How do I
They live
make
to like
this
100.
assumption?
No, they're it's a thing, and it's just a cultural thing. They like hot water with lemon. When I used to work at a restaurant, it was just a thing, right? If you had a Chinese family come in, we had a button. It was called the Chinese martini. It's just a hot water and lemon.
I
Actually,
actually called it
martini.
the Chinese martini.
one of my old coworkers used to call it the Chinese martini.
That's great.
But it was actually
No,
we had so many we actually had so many Chinese guests at the restaurant. And we're a fine dining restaurant, right? So like, you know, when a customer comes in and doesn't have like alcohol, you know, they don't, you know, add money to the bill, you know. It hurts the business a little bit. So I thought it was a little petty, but they actually added a $1.25 charge for hot water and lemon.
What?
Because you did have to go and get the hot water, and you did have to put a lemon in it, and you know, like
I think that's
know.
petty. That's some Toronto
it
shit
was
right there.
It was some Toronto shit.
Yeah.
I know, but it was so consistent that I think one of the guys was actually like he was low key a little racist, but like a lot of people in the service industry are because you know there's a lot of stereotypes. And honestly, a lot of stereotypes do come true. Like, if you have a Chinese family come in, better get the hot water going. You know, it's things that you know you could say it's a stereotype, but when you deal with thousands of people on a regular basis from all walks of life, as you do in Toronto, you eventually start to
Notice
patterns.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
it's just
they're
pattern
not,
recognition, and you're tying
Yeah.
it to a race, which it will be.
it will be
So
because
it's only fair.
Yeah.
But like that kind of low key racism, it's not real racism. It's just pattern recognition, like you
Yeah,
just said.
exactly.
Oh, 100%.
It's
And
not
that kind of stuff,
racism.
but it only exists in places like Toronto or New York or multicultural cities like that, where there's
Yes.
enough of a population so that you can actually
where you can actually
recognize-
get to know it. Yeah, honestly, there was a lot of.
But
I came into working in the restaurant industry like, you know, that's bullshit. I used to tell them like, you know, I don't want to think that way. That's just not me. Like, I would rather just let you know, give everybody a fair chance. And by the end of my like 5 years of working in the restaurant industry, all the stereotypes, everything is pretty much true.
It's based on something real.
It's based on something real. I mean,
But-
they wouldn't be that way if it weren't real.
Yeah.
it's like, what is there something negative tied to the word stereotype? Like,
Yes.
it's negative.
There's
right?
a negative connotation, but I don't think so. And not in my opinion, like we're saying right now. I don't
Yeah.
think it's negative. It's just pattern recognition.
Yeah, you can look at it in whatever you want, but like, I mean, there's cultures and there's differences, and like we just categorize that as a stereotype, but it's like there's actual differences for a reason, right?
But I think why people don't like it is because you end up judging someone based on the actions of other people that look like them.
Yeah.
And that's why people don't like it. But you know, what are you gonna do?
But-
You know? Like,
It's not 100% true. It's never 100. I would say it hits like 60% of the time.
yeah.
And sometimes you make judgments and they're not accurate. Maybe you thought that this person was going to do this, and actually they surprised you.
Yeah.
So
No.
it's not 100% of the time, and I still live by the philosophy of
Well,
giving people a chance to prove themselves and show you something else. But it happens. I mean, the stereotypes.
think it's
So
about-
what about tipping? Who had the bad tipping stereotype?
Chinese people had really bad tipping.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Terrible all the time.
Gotta be Indians for sure.
I think I can't quite
There's
remember
something
too many
that-
Indians
there was a lot of-
coming, but I can't. We had those like second generation Indian, like high class
Okay,
people who
yeah.
these guys are basically Canadian. So I would say most of the Indians that came were already pretty assimilated to the tipping culture and things like that. We had a lot of tourists during the summer. So people from Europe were notoriously bad for tipping
Yeah.
because they didn't know that they had to tip. But it's also like you should do some of your research. Like
Yeah.
you should probably figure out that it's a requirement almost here.
Yeah, but Canada's kind of interesting because, like, I get America because they have a tipped employee wage and they have a regular wage.
We in Canada too.
They do too.
Yeah,
No,
What's the difference though?
yeah.
What's the gap?
they
So
just introduced that,
No,
though.
no.
It was always.
Always. Tip. So if you are a regular worker, back when we were in Canada, it was $15 an hour to work anywhere else. If you were a service worker, you're getting paid $11.25.
Yeah, that is a difference. When I moved to the
like a
U.S.
third.
first, minimum wage was $7.25 for regular, and tipped employee minimum wage was $3.10.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's wild.
But you do make a lot of
So
money.
if you're a European coming to America and like you don't tip at a restaurant, that's like a slap in the face to these employees.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
It's hard. Yeah. And
But now they've gone too far. Like now they're just asking you for a tip at the convenience store now.
For everything.
Yeah,
what
it's
is
ridiculous.
that?
It's like now the people that should
Every
be
fast
getting
food
tipped,
restaurant.
it's watering down their ability to get tipped because I'm just like screw tipping now.
Well, it depends, right? If I'm at a cafe and you're just serving me some coffee, I don't know. They throw that iPad at you, and you're just like, "Fuck!" Like,
Yeah, they're like 20, 25, or 30%. Those are your options.
I've
It's like
seen
what?
40 before too.
Tippy teas, like literally, they every time you go
Is it
there,
because
they're
it's
like,
called tippy teas?
no, but like it's it's just a cafe. It's like a smoothie juice cafe, but it's like it's tough because you just automatically click that 5% tip because you're just like, why not? It's 5 cents. Like
I generally do tip on those. I feel really guilty when I don't. It's just business owners passing on the cost of labor to their customers in that way.
But the tea is still $4.25.
yeah.
It's still expensive, yeah. But
you don't need
it's
to.
just it's the new normal, I guess.
think-
But I think it's getting out of hand. Like I think there's a lot of places where, like I'm at an airport and this person is at the kiosk and I'm getting a bottle of water and they're asking me. I got the bottle of water myself off the shelf.
Yeah, you just walked up to the
And
cashier.
I walked up and they're asking for a tip and I'm like, all right, no. And then the water is already $5. Like I'm
Yeah.
paying already too
Pretty
much.
soon
for
you'll
the
see
water.
that at like Albertsons. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, if there's a bag boy, I mean, or
Yeah,
whoever it
that's
is, maybe I'll consider it. But
yeah.
it's getting pretty outrageous. And as somebody who worked in the tipping, in the service industry, I know tips are really important, but I think you still need to
Provide a service.
provide a service to warrant getting a tip.
I tip people when I feel they deserve it. Like when I feel like I got value, like you're saying.
Well, I hate when you have to tip up front, or at a place.
When
You're at a
when you-
food hall or something and you got to tip up front.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, when you buy the food, you tip, and then you get
Yeah.
the food after.
You get the food
Yeah.
after.
It's like no, in this situation, there's no tips involved, guys.
yeah.
Well, they have to bring the food. They do clean the tables. Although some places they make you take your trays back. And it's a
Like Panera
controversial
Bread
topic.
should never ask for tips.
It's a controversial topic. Honestly, a lot of people who work in the service industry, they see it as no. Like you should tip even for that. Like it should be 20% all the time.
Then just
It's
put it in the price. Just put it in the price
put
and
it-
take the tip thing off.
Yeah,
the thing.
and
Yeah.
at that point you're actually ruining your opportunity to get a better tip. If you force people to tip you up front, they might just tip 10, 15% because they're like, okay, nothing's been proven yet.
Yeah.
Compared to if you actually give them really good service and something memorable, then they'll come back and say, oh, you know what, this person deserves 20, 25%, 30%. Maybe, you know, I'm just going to throw in an extra this amount of money because this person really gave me a special experience. We're just turning into Europe in a different way. So we're becoming more expensive and less service oriented, and really with none of the benefits of the employees making a livable wage just automatically.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was good, 10 years ago. After the pandemic, it kind of got
Yeah, it was the pandemic for sure.
No, the
I'm still
pandemic got
on.
everybody.
I'm still on this Chinese martini. Might be my new drink. I like
It's
it.
very healthy. Apparently, the
warm
way you're
water.
supposed to you're supposed to digest food with warm water.
It's definitely
The best
makes
way
sense.
for your digestion system to start working and your stomach to process a meal is actually by having hot liquids.
Makes sense. I mean, think about like molecular science. Molecules move faster with heat, and they move slower when it's cold. So if you want that food to process faster, you should heat things up in there.
Yeah.
I just think it would be nice, in the morning have hot water and I mean, I guess if you don't eat a big meal, but in general, I think throughout the day you should try to have some hot water and lemon.
Yeah.
It's a good flush the toxins feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that into. I
You
can
don't-
get
you're not
into
huge
it.
into tea.
I don't love tea either.
I like tea.
I like tea.
Tea's great.
And welcome to No Edits number 5, baby.
Is it number 5 already?
This is number
Wow,
5.
guys.
Holy shit.
Number 5. Zane is back after
Yeah.
one episode hiatus.
Yeah.
One episode
I couldn't
hiatus.
make. I was supposed to. I was.
You're
gonna
supposed to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We talked about it.
but you went back to Cincinnati for a very exciting reason.
Yeah. Finally
Shit.
got my house, so
Yeah.
I have a place to live, which is nice.
He's
Sort
not
of.
just bumming around.
Like
on
what?
people's
2.5, 3 years? How long?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So Zane started building his home in Cincinnati 3 years ago.
I think condos in Toronto, like 60-floor condos, are built faster than your house.
Oh
was
yeah.
built.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, there was clearly a lot of reasons why that didn't happen as fast.
There
as it
were a
should
lot of
have.
reasons, but there was too many.
Too many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But maybe we can do like an episode there. We can do a tour.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
When you guys
yeah.
come to town.
We'll
Definitely, if we could do a nice sunny day right on that balcony,
We'll do a podcast there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
You do a little No Edits tour as well at the end.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do
Include
like
it
a
in the
Chris
video.
like episode. I'll have to
MTV
stock the
Cribs.
fridge with Dom Perignon for sure.
And then return it the next
Oh,
day.
no, you'll do a mini vlog and like use his coffee maker. The
Yeah, there's probably some good content out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
content out there. You gotta furnish it though. You gotta get it all nice and set up.
It's happening.
Right now, it's a
happening.
little
Barren.
sparse. Yeah.
Yeah. It's happening.
But you guys are working on it. I think Adam is helping decorate.
Adam's pushing the needle for sure. Yeah.
yeah, Zane's good at that.
Yeah, he's over there like every other day, like,
Yeah.
helping out. So
Yeah. And what else? No, you guys left for that.
We just did a bunch of skiing.
Just skiing.
and you guys had your après ski
Oh gosh.
podcast episode. Did you go skiing that day?
The
Yeah,
après.
we
Yeah,
were
we go.
skiing.
Yeah, we went skiing that day, and then we came to the hotel and actually did
you,
it.
You didn't just put that clothes on just for the podcast.
No, we didn't.
No. We did ski
No, it was
that.
après ski. What do you mean? No, we came back. We sat down, just got it out, and then
Oh yeah. No,
No, it's good.
it worked out
Yeah.
really well, but
I was the one. I was like, we were skiing that day, and I said, you know what would be really cool if we actually did this in our ski clothes, like real après ski.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got some drinks and just did it up, and I think it turned out pretty
No, that
well.
was cool. That was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in doing more kind of like destination style
Yeah.
podcasts
Podcasts.
where
That's
we
kinda
can
cool.
change the background. We can really get creative where we're doing it and start to involve more people in it. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, you'll be in Canada. Do you think you'll have an opportunity to
Yeah, I'll do one with
Well, I've been telling you, man.
Champ and
Champ.
Rhythm?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that'd be
god, that
cool.
would be so interesting.
He's pumped. He wants to do it.
Yeah, and he's gonna
He
say
wants
some
to speak.
wild
He wants to
shit.
speak to the world. He has things to say.
Just call it the
That's
conspiracy
gonna be the
episode.
yeah. That's gonna be a great episode, honestly.
It's the conservative conspiracy episode for sure. Like Alex Jones might show up, you know.
And you guys should definitely do it. Like at his basement or something. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like the old school man cave.
Old school
vibes.
man cave, old couches,
Yeah.
old carpet. You know,
Yeah.
just a giant TV and a bunch of speakers. You know.
Like that's like the early 2000s kind of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm finishing up Breaking Bad. I'm on season 5, like episode 9.
Is that the last season?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It goes to episode like 14. So but some crazy shit is happening, and it's really good.
yeah, she started when she went to Denver. We were watching it together, and then she left, and then kept watching it without me.
He's
It's really
sad.
upsetting. Yeah, because I was getting back into it. I hadn't watched it in, I don't know, 5 to 6 years. And
I was lonely
was
in
really-
Denver, and I was like, "This is gonna keep me entertained."
I was
Breaking
really
Bad.
hoping to continue.
It's an addicting show.
It's so good.
Yeah.
No, it kind of gets slow in between like ending of season 4, beginning of season 5, and you're just kind of like, "What's going on?" But then it just picks back up again, and you're just like, "Wow." Adam said that there's a Breaking Bad movie. He's watching.
No, it's called El Camino. I think it's a Netflix kind of spin-off of it. I don't think Heisenberg is actually in it. I think it might just be a Jesse thing.
Oh, Jesse Pinkman, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
there's,
yeah?
then there's
But-
there's a Saul.
Yeah, Better Call
Yeah,
Saul
Better Call
is
Saul.
the best. The better spin-off. Actually, it turned out to be... I never watched it, but I've heard a lot of people say that it turned out to be a really good show.
Saul was good in that show.
Well, Saul's I
great.
don't know who
in
the actor
the
is.
show, he's great.
I don't know who the actor is, but that guy is usually pretty solid in whatever he does.
Yeah.
But the sleaze bag kind of style that
Yeah.
he's got going on, he really played it off very well.
He played it well.
Doesn't like Jesse Pinkman remind you of like someone from Bolton?
Oh yeah.
Like that's why he's my favorite character. I don't know. Just reminds me of like some kid we grew up with
One
in
of
middle
those
school.
like punk white kid
Yeah.
drug dealers.
Skater
you know.
boy drug dealer
Yeah.
vibe. Like
I don't know if you remember you didn't go to Harborview. There's a guy named Tommy, exactly like him.
really.
His mom was a drug dealer. He was a drug dealer.
Wow.
That was where he's just like one of those like white kids that thinks he's black. You know what I mean? Like small, skinny, short,
Baggy
just like
clothes,
him. Yeah, baggy
yeah.
clothes. Yeah.
No, there's this kid I remember. He used to walk around Bolton, but he was just known as like the bad kid in Bolton. Clearly, we're from a small town.
Yeah.
As like like everyone knows everyone. I think his name was Chris something, but he used to walk around with literally a belt buckle like around like his ankles and his pants like just from here down, and his
And
shirt.
his shirt all the way
and his
down.
shirt all the way down to his knees, and like you could see the belt buckle like tied across his like thighs, and he'd just be like walking around town. Like it's just crazy. It's just some.
Do you have any kids like that in your school?
No, honestly, my school was very white.
He went to a preppy, rich
Well,
Toronto.
It was a public
white
school,
school.
but yeah, mostly white kids, Asians, very few, maybe 3 black people, honestly. No Latinos, really. And if they were Latinos, they were very whitewashed. I was probably one of the very few real Latinos in my school where you could actually speak Spanish
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. No. Similar to our upbringing, I mean, there was like probably 2 or 3 black kids in our school too growing up.
In elementary school.
In elementary
High
school.
school was different.
High school it was different for
Yeah.
sure.
Funny enough, I went to elementary school in Scarborough, so I had
The whole spectrum.
black, Indian, Pakistani. Like I might have been the whitest person. No, that's not true. There was white people, but there was kind of like white trashy people.
Yeah, yeah.
There were some like decent people, but it seemed like everybody who went to that school just wasn't gonna do very well, to be honest.
Well, you went to like, the
but then
rich
you went
kids
to
prep
like
school
a rich
after,
kid
so you're
school
like,
after, so you
Yeah.
like, had a different impression.
Yeah, middle school was very much like high school, and yeah, it was interesting. But we had Northern, like down the street, which was a bit more mixed type of school. It was an easier acceptance criteria It was a much bigger school, so they had a bigger radius of kids that they could go.
What do you mean acceptance criteria though? Isn't it public school?
Yeah, so North Toronto had a very small, because every high school has a region that it can serve. So it's a geographical region where it's from this block to this block. Kids who grow up here, they can go to high school here. So North Toronto had a very small area.
Oh, if you lived outside of that, you had to like audition.
Literally, if you lived across from Mount Pleasant, you could not go to North Toronto
Yeah.
without being accepted. And if you to be accepted, you had to be selected. It was like a lottery, I think, and then maybe there were other criteria. So a lot of people that wanted to go actually didn't end up going and had to go to Northern.
Yeah.
But Northern was a much bigger school. Athletics was way better. We were in like a good athletic high school.
Yeah. Interesting.
And
What do you think is more important, like in childhood development, like elementary school, or high school, or college?
They're all very impactful if I think back to it.
All of it?
I think high school.
High school?
I think high school.
High school's the roughest, I'd say.
Elementary school, a lot
Middle
of people.
school. Okay, in terms of like savage young children, for some reason in my middle school, it was so savage. Just like the way people would bully each other. Because when you get to high school, you're a little bit more mature. So you kind of like, you have your cliques, but the bullying wasn't as severe. Maybe it's just in my high school. But in middle school, it was just like ruthless, I found.
I think middle school is the most ruthless. But like as far as like impactfulness in like childhood development, like what's the most important?
I think high school.
High school.
High school, yeah.
High school.
I think high school. Middle school, everyone goes through. I would say like 80% of people go through a phase of not feeling, welcome or
Yeah.
feeling weird or ostracized or.
You do in high school too.
But
yeah,
less.
but I think in high school you find your clique. In middle school, it's like, I think everybody just feels awkward.
But you know what's
It's a little
weird?
dog eat dog.
What's weird is like I remember, I don't know if you guys did, but it was always like the first day of your new year, like whatever.
Oh, you thought you were coming-
11, you're coming in like I gotta plan my outfit, I gotta look my best.
No,
I
and
gotta
every-
do-
and
it
every-
was such a big deal.
Every
for
year,
me.
every year was your year. Every year was like, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna change my personality, or I'm gonna do this to
I was waiting to be in grade 12 because I wanted to be the senior. I wanted to be like I wanted to own. Okay, not own, but you wanted to be like the kid who ran the school kind of thing. Because when you're in grade 9, you look at the grade 12, you're like, oh my god, but
Yeah.
And then when you're in grade 12, you're like kind of like finally like I'm not like afraid or whatever. I'm just like it's more comfortable. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, I get that. But when I got to grade 12, I felt like I should have just been out of there. Like I was already done with high school.
True.
Yeah. Well, you probably got expelled a couple times.
Oh yeah, I was like, why am I even still here?
By that point, you're like, how am I still here?
Yeah, that too.
This is
Yeah.
wild.
That's true.
No, it depends on, like, I don't know. I definitely think high school is the most impactful. But because of what I think it is because in middle school, you're still very heavily parented. I mean, obviously, if, you have parents that, parent you.
They're
but-
still, like, you're not
But you're
an adult
heavily,
yet.
you're not an adult. But in high school, you're in that transition phase where you have to be really more independent, make more decisions for yourself, decide to do, like I could skip class for the whole day and like go drive off with a friend who has a license now and can drive and go do your own thing and come back to school without your parents even knowing. Like you couldn't do that in middle school. Like people have cars, so you have more independence. Like I feel like that's why it's more impactful because you can actually make a decision to probably fail a class or not and not have your parent like, know.
Yeah. No, that's true. I would agree. I think also like elementary school. So speaking of like your experience in elementary school was like very mixed and like maybe more lower class, and then in high school it was more a higher class sort of situation. I think right. It sounds like
Yeah.
It's more of a prep school. Like mine was in inverse, but I feel like my elementary school days where I had that sort of crowd of kids had an impact on me. And when I went to high school, it was like it was a kind of a shithole, like high school, like it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And so like that did have an impact on me one way or another.
Yeah, Zane's high school is like the complete opposite of what you went to, and even kind of what I went to. Like, I don't know what was going on with your high school, but it was a shithole.
It was savage. It was like war, basically. It was like tribal warfare, like just insane, like every day.
Every
like,
day was just like something.
I can't tell you, like I don't think a week ever passed where someone didn't like light off like 100 firecrackers in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Like it was like that.
And like fart bombs going off in the cafeteria.
Oh, and fights, like food
every
fights,
like legit food fights. Like Zane would talk about food. Like, when do you have a food
Yeah,
fight? Like, that didn't happen in my high
there was
school.
always a drug dealer in the corner of the calf,
Yeah.
like just dishing out like dimes under his leg. Like it was wild.
Yeah.
And fights. Probably 5
didn't
times
have-
a day.
We didn't have
Every day.
There was never a fight in my high school, bro.
You guys have seen more fights just picking me up from school in front of the school
Yeah.
than you guys ever had in your high school.
Yeah. No, 1,000%. But you have to explain why. It's because of the school that closed down in Brampton.
It was just like, so the school was made for like 800 kids, and like they were building more schools as they were expanding Brampton, and Brampton is like very multicultural. And so they just trucked in like an extra like 500 kids, and like we had like portables everywhere. It was just like overrun with people, and like they were all different nationalities and different cliques and different races, and like it was just a melting pot of savages, and a lot of people that thought they were gangsters.
thought they were.
Yeah.
Big emphasis on thought.
Thought they were, yeah.
No, I really...
We had wannabe gangsters too, to be honest. We had a few people who really thought they were hood shit, and they would get expelled, and very quickly actually. Some people did some crazy not crazy shit, but like one guy brought like brass knuckles to school, and somebody like snitched on him, and principal just came down and boom, expelled.
That was like
Done.
a Tuesday, dude. One of my friends in one of my classes, this guy's brother got a gun illegally and did an armed robbery on 3 gas stations.
And he didn't
And
get expelled.
he got what was it called when you get kicked out of the country? Deported. He got deported
No.
back to India. Like these are like people. My school had kids that weren't even Canadians. Like,
Whoa. That's interesting.
yeah,
Oh, savage.
like real. Like they were not just wannabe gangsters. They were actually trying to be them. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Like, I knew a group of kids
kinda-
that would literally rob the Coke truck every time it came to deliver Coke. When the guy would go inside, when the guy would go into the school to load up the pop machines,
Oh, yeah.
they would run into the truck and steal all these cases of like Monster Energy and Coke and stuff, and they'd come back into the school, put them in their lockers, and they'd sell them to you for $1. Dude, I had another friend.
That's a
that
good
was-
hustle.
Yeah, hustlers. I had another
That's a
friend
great hustle.
that was freaking running he was running just a mob basically. They would go into this is just a guy I knew. He was also a hard money lender, and at 14 years old. He would have kids go into these locker rooms and steal all these kids' shit from their locker, like from their change rooms, like their phones and stuff. And then they would just sell them back to like other people, and like they had this whole thing going.
Oh, my
And
God.
you take the cash and lend it to other kids for 10% APR.
Wow.
And then if you didn't pay him back, he'd send hustlers to your house. Like
No.
knock on your door. Yeah.
This
Teenage
is
hustlers?
wild.
Full scale, dude.
I think this is why Zane's so smart. He just
I'm not going to
learned all
drop
this
any
stuff as he-
names, but you guys know some of these people.
Oh, God.
Oh, interesting.
I could figure it out. But, wow. So these guys must have done well in economics class. You know?
Oh, yeah.
They're
Wow.
really paying attention. They're like, you mean the bank lends money
Yeah.
for 10%?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, I loved having the comparison because like I always kind of wished, to be honest, I'm telling you, my 4 years of high school, there was never a fight that I witnessed in my high school, which is kind of crazy because I heard so much about Zane school and like fights, and I was like, I see all these movies, and I'm like, high school's tough, and my high school was so pussy.
You went to an art school.
I went to an art school. I did. There was like dancers. There was a dance program, a vocal program, an art program. Yeah, my school was very artsy,
Oh, that's nice, too.
which was
My
nice.
school was pretty
but
artsy
also
too, actually. We had a
cliquey.
lot of music. I mean, the music program was sought out for in arts.
Yeah. No, but for my high school, like it was very like cliquey. I found like the dancers were the dancers, and they were like the hot girls who'd walk around school in their little period
Leotards.
or leotards, and like they're just like the. You know what I mean? Yeah, you walk around
What?
in your leotards because you just finished dance class and you can go to your
This is
locker.
like High School Musical, basically.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
like
like
High
some-
School Musical.
That sounds.
No, and then we were the
Honestly-
music kids. I was the music kid, like the vocal class or whatever. We were a little bit nerdy, like not popular, but like we got along with everyone. But then the drama kids were always like the weirdo, like drama kids are very like expressive, like so that. And then you had the art kids who were very quiet, like they would just sit and just draw in class all day, like. Yeah, it was a very interesting,
get that.
and then because it was predominantly white school, where my school was, it was in Brampton, but where it was predominantly white. In our cafeteria, we had a specific table called Cafrica, where only the colored kids hung out. The rest,
I thought you were
like,
going to say they
literally-
only had like deviled eggs every day.
So
No,
were
Cafrica.
were you in Cafrica?
I hung out in Cafrica a lot. Yeah, I mean,
You can
and
get
they'd be making like African beats on the table, and literally living.
No.
I swear to God, ask anybody at lunch. The last 20 minutes of class is like boom, 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 boom.
They
They're
do
like-
do that.
They do
They
that.
do
They
that.
Maybe
We
it's
didn't call ours Cafrica, but we had the black table.
Yeah,
and they were playing
we're-
like dominoes over there.
Yeah.
And like cards. And
Cards.
just like beatboxing on the
Oh.
table, just like just
Yeah.
going crazy,
like someone's beatboxing and someone's trying to make a tune, but then
Oh,
we
yeah.
always played cards. It's a very
You ever have like rap battles going on somewhere?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes there was like some people trying to rap and stuff.
Yeah.
No rapping in my school.
No?
No rapping that I can remember.
We had some white
No.
rappers.
Yeah,
And some black rappers.
yeah. We had
No rappers.
you seem like you regret that.
That's like-
damn it, no rappers.
I'm just thinking about it.
Anything weird, crazy happen in your high
There
school?
were the musical kids. Those very similar. Those guys were, most of them were pretty weird. At least back then. I mean, but yeah, the drama kids. I think drama wasn't that big, but it's interesting. I think sports was big. So if you were in a sports team, you were doing all right.
My school didn't have much good sports. It's mostly drugs.
Well, they canceled
Oh.
their football team.
Cancel the football team.
The
yeah.
smoker section at Zane School was like fill this entire room with people, maybe even a little bit more. Like because
the grass on the sidewalk was scorched, and the grass will never grow there again. As from the entire
cigarette
stretch of the
butts,
school.
like it was just like every morning you would drop Zane off at school. There was like this section of grass which was off the school property, so you're allowed to smoke, but it was just at least 50 kids every morning. And on top of that, then I went to high school and I'm like, where's the smoker section? Probably like 3 people off school property smoking every day.
What's funny is our smoking area, we used to call it the Deems Corner. I don't know why, but it was actually on school property.
Huh.
But it was right outside of an emergency exit out of our auditorium.
Yeah.
This covered area, kind of like a
Really?
little balcony, and people just smoked there all the time. And honestly, no one ever got in trouble for it. You would smoke there. We used to smoke weed there too. And my school's small, dude. Like anyone crossing the corner, and it's down like Midtown Toronto. It's busy.
Yeah.
So people are walking by, whatever. We used to smoke weed there. We used to smoke, and it was just the spot. It was where everybody went to do that. And honestly, no one ever, I don't think ever got in trouble for that. So the school was just kind of like, that's the area.
Yeah.
You know.
We never got in trouble for smoking out there.
Oh, I got a good story, dude. I got a good story about smoking. So one of my friends, he actually, so my school is built between 2 condos.
Yeah.
So the school is like 5 floors, and the condo is right beside it. And you can sometimes see into people's like living room from the classes.
Oh God. Oh no.
And one of my friends actually lived in one of those condos where you could see right into it, and the balcony was actually facing the field.
Yeah.
So really, really cool experience because this guy lived there. We used to hang out with him, and guess what? His parents are from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
His dad, mom just left them there and just let him live his
No,
life.
so you guys had this like condo right next door.
Nice.
We had a trap house, dude. Right next door to the school. We'd go up at lunch or spare time, and one day we were just there and smoking whatever, blah, blah. And I was on the football team, and I was actually coming to my math teacher's office because I wanted to see what my grade was before going into the exam because I wasn't doing too well. And then I'm going up the stairs. He's like, last week you weren't at class, this and that. And he's like, I actually saw you in the apartment. I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah, there was a lot of smoke coming out of there. And I'm like, oh shit. But honestly, he liked me because his main thing was like no phones in class, no talking, and I was pretty good about it. And he's like, oh, you know what, Jose, like I like you. You play football, like and this and that. And he was just kind of really cool about it. And I guarantee you, I actually failed that exam, but he passed me.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
He passed me. It wasn't even the passing.
Subject?
It was actually data management, which is basically statistics.
Yeah.
But funny enough is I went to Humber, I went to college, and I had a 95 in statistics in college.
Nice.
Our school was notoriously
did do
hard to do well in. So a lot of kids who graduated and went off to university used to come back and rave about how well prepared they were at university.
Yeah.
But that was a funny story. And we had crazy times there, dude. I never did acid, but my friends used to go up there and they used to do all that shit, and it was basically a trap house.
But they go back to class after?
Oh no, they wouldn't do acid and go back.
Okay.
Maybe mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you get that kid, and like whose parents lets their high school kid have a house to themselves, throughout high school, especially like close enough to the school. Like there's always that one or two kids.
Well, they thought, oh, it's close to the school. It must be
safe.
It must
Yeah.
be safe.
Yeah. Like, they never like. Yeah, that's.
But he was a
insane.
responsible guy. Like he wasn't. He wasn't going to have. He never had parties. Never once had a real party
Like
at
a
his house.
rave, yeah.
Because the condo freaking board would come down on him or something. But we'd have big get-togethers and whatnot, and it was always a good time. And again, just right out of it, you'd see the field.
Yeah.
And you could watch football games. You could watch everything. You'd go upstairs and just watch everybody pass by as they left class. And you're just there smoking weed and whatever.
That's great. That's pretty awesome.
But you know what's? I forgot too. The staff lounge was right beside the fucking balcony. That was the thing. That was always the thing.
So you had to sneak.
So you would see if the curtain was up.
Yeah.
And you would have to be really chill.
Yeah.
Or if the curtain was down, you could do whatever you wanted on the balcony. But yeah, I forgot that the staff lounge
High
was
key,
actually
they
right
had
there.
the curtain down. They're just like peeking over. Like, I know these kids are doing themselves.
No one ever said a thing. No one besides my math teacher, and he was pretty chill about it.
Huh.
Well,
That's a cool situation.
yeah.
It was really interesting.
I remember my friends like telling me from Humber, who went to Humber, because I went to a Humberview. Sorry,
Yeah.
Humberview. They would talk about how they would get probably some of my friends would get stoned for class every single day of high school. And I was just it's weird because I was into sports, so I never did that. And it was just so weird to think about because at that time in my life, I was like, how could you do that? But thinking back to it, obviously it's different now. But yeah, I couldn't imagine. I feel it would actually be kind of cool. Now that I think about it.
You're just wasting your
Not
time.
cool, but it would be cool to experience once and
Well,
see
it
if
depends,
you can
right?
focus, right?
We were known as the stoners, kind of. We weren't really traditionally stoners. We looked that way. There were guys who looked that way, but they're actually just drug dealers. But we were known as the stoners, and yeah, I mean, we would, we'd get toasted, for a lot of things.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I would I was the more conservative one. Stefan, fuck it.
Stefan always gets roasted on this podcast.
I hate. Yeah, we got to get better at not saying names. But he was probably one of the biggest stoners. He would miss class a lot and just go out and go to my friend's house and the apartment and just always rip a couple bowls or always find a way to come stoned. But you know what? He was freaking killing it.
No, but now he's in pharmaceuticals.
Now he's got an MBA. He really did well. So you could be a functional stoner.
For sure.
And in my case, I could not go to a class stoned and do well.
Dude, from the second semester of grade 9 all the way to the end of high school, I probably missed over 50% of classes. Yeah. And I don't know what the rate of stonage was, but it was a lot. And I completely graduated. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some classes I literally missed like 80% of the classes, showed up to the exams.
There's certain limits to that. Like my school, I think if you missed a certain amount of school, you were out. You were done. You couldn't graduate.
No.
Wow. Attendance was
they couldn't do that at my school. And nobody would graduate.
They'd lose funding.
Yeah, they have a 50% like failure rate.
Yeah. We had some interesting stuff in high school. Honestly, just generally, it was. I really enjoyed high school. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people hated it. I really had a great time, dude. We threw keggers, the football party that
you had like a clean high school experience. Like I feel like for you, it was like the classic high school experience is what you had. Like
it's pretty good.
Great friends. House parties, all that stuff. Like,
honestly, I think I peaked in high. No, I personally didn't peak in high school, but I think a lot of certain experiences, I was way more open and less like anxious about, doing drugs and drinking and like all that shit. So we had a really good time in high school. Yeah. And then after that, I went to Humber. A lot of my friends went to different universities. I basically stayed in the city while everybody left the city. Yeah. So, a bit of a disconnect there. And I kind of matured personally that way. I felt like if I still went to school with all these guys, I would not have been the person.
You'd have continued. I
would have kept doing some stupid shit.
Yeah. And I had the same experience after, I'd say by the 11th grade, I was really just done with it. I did all the partying. I had all the fun, all the keggers, and all the crazy shit. By grade 11, halfway through grade 11, I was just like, I'm done with all this. I was ready to retire from that life. And I just kind of...
It's crazy because there's people who are in their late 20s, 30s who are still doing that.
Then I got to college, went to Humber College, and I was just like, this is more of that. But these kids are just coming out now. This is terrible. Yeah. And I literally dropped out after
They're like babies.
3 months. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, it's interesting how everyone matures, but I think because you started so young, you matured faster, which is kind of a good thing, right? But it's crazy to me. I'm 27 now, and I've just moved past that clubby party life. But there's people who go into their 35, 36, 37, and they're still at that level. But I mean, to each their own. To be honest, it's just not for some people.
Some people doing that. I just can't handle the hangovers. I might still do them if I didn't feel so bad after such a big night of drinking.
I like it ever so often. I love a great, crazy, wild night out.
Once in a while.
But once in a while.
I'm still down for a hangover night.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, who's not?
But I'm not doing it every weekend.
No, exactly.
Yeah. It's not my life.
Some people do that.
Some people do every weekend. Yeah. I love that, but I also I like both. I like a good introverted, quiet night to myself, but I also love to be social. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a balance. High school's fun, though. Yeah. You didn't really party that much in high school.
Well, I mean, our school was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so you kind of needed a car. You couldn't walk anywhere. Yeah. There was this random pie shop you could walk to, but it's on a busy highway. There's no sidewalks. And, grade 10 or beginning of grade 11, it burnt down. So that was bye-bye to our only place you could walk to. But actually, luckily, in my 12th grade 12 year, they decided to build the final, like, a plaza right across our school, which had a Walmart, and a couple little, like, stores and, like, maybe, like, a Subway or something like that. But that was only in grade 12. But other than that, you couldn't get anywhere until you could drive.
Yeah.
My high school was kind of like, it was lame. I was in a stupid relationship for the whole time. So it was kind of, like, consumed. I feel like I didn't really have the best experience. But yeah, that was my high school experience. But it was still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jose, you a little tired.
I'm like reminiscing, honestly. I'm thinking about things in high school.
My like highlight was middle school. Middle school for me, I had the best friends. I would like that was a walkable school. I would go to my friend's house after school. I'd go raid their pantries. I would just like I don't know, like my middle school was prime. Like that's where I had fun. Like a lot of fun. Like I don't know, for some reason I have memories of middle school. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a little different experience.
Yeah, now we're grown adults, and those days are.
And then life hits you in the face. Honestly, to me, when I turned 21, life hit me in the face. I don't know why. I just felt getting older, and I was like, oh, it's not as nice as it seems. It's nice. It's definitely nice, but there's a lot of like responsibility as you get older, and it really kicks in. And you're just like, oh, wow. I see what my parents have been doing this whole time. Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
But it's got to be done.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard because you just roll. Well, you just roll with what life throws out at you. You know.
Not always.
Generally, like.
You mean like adulting?
A lot of people. Yeah, you know, you don't really. You always think there's like when you grow up, you always think there's a switch, where it's like now I'm an adult now I have all these things and you know I have to think about each and every one of them, and you think everything is planned out, but really things just start to accumulate and accumulate and accumulate, and before you know it, you now have the responsibilities that you were growing up thinking, you know, one day I'm going to have those.
You didn't plan it out?
No one plans it out.
What?
No one plans it out.
Of course. What do you mean? It's just like, okay, now we're going to do this. Like, all right, we got to do that. Got to get a house.
No,
got to get a dog. Got to get a girlfriend. Got to pay these bills. Like,
no, and even now those things are like, those decisions aren't as easy as you thought they were going to be when you were young. You know, oh, I want to have a dog when I'm older. And now you're like, oh, if I get a dog, then I can't travel, or, you know, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. More responsibility. Well, where am I going to find the time to do it? And then those things just start to add up.
It's called a decision.
I just think it's, as a kid, you go from 0 to like 100. Like the in between phase for me, like I guess everyone has different experiences, but for me, like I think I moved out. I was living at my condo for a bit, so that went from 0 to 100 because like living at home, not really giving it, like, you know, your parents do everything for you, and then you're completely on your own. Then you're like, that's when life kind of just hits you. I started paying bills. I started, you know, and then you're like, I have to think, so I can't just like let my days flow. You have to think every day. Like you have to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. Like, you know, you can't fuck up.
When I moved into my own house the first time, 3 months later, the electricity shut off. I forgot to pay the bill.
That's happened to me too.
We are related.
Yeah, no, because you feel like you before you didn't have to think about that, and now you do. So you have to learn, right? How are you gonna learn? You got to make mistakes, but then the second time for me was actually like moving to a whole ass new country.
Yeah.
Like, man, like it's actually great. Like when I look at overall experience, like it's the best thing I probably ever did. Like I think the things I've learned over the past 2-3 years is like insane. But then it also just comes with being an adult. Like I feel like as a child, like no one prepares you for that. Like
it's fun though. It's not that hard.
No,
like
it's not.
There's a lot of
interesting.
learning.
I think the most interesting part of it is not thinking about it for a good ass period, and then looking back and be like, oh
years.
shit, like I've done all this. Like it feels like just yesterday I was still living with my parents and, you know, just playing Call of Duty and thinking about the next time I was how I was going to get stoned tomorrow. You know, that's for me the biggest part is, you know, I think after COVID, and COVID was just like such a huge shock, and that's when, you know, we decided to make a lot of drastic changes and whatnot. It just feels like a turning of the page to something completely different. And I think that's what makes it that much more like impactful for me at least, is that that change happened so quickly, and I've progressed so quickly that it feels like just yesterday I was a completely different person.
Yeah, I think it's also the phase in life. Like, you're on that springboard phase.
You're 25,
Yeah.
and I mean I'm not too far away, but yeah, it's interesting. I think it's nice to look back at life though and see how much you've matured. Like I do that a lot. Because like, you know, you do stupid shit when you're young, and you think back and you're like, oh wow, I would never do that again. You know, like, oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You get older, you get more mature, you get more guarded. But how do you also keep like that kid that liked to play Call of Duty? You know, because like if he dies, then like that's kind of fucked up. Like,
no,
it's like part of your. That's like the best part.
But
I know that's what those are. I think I'm having a quarter life crisis. Because
You gotta find a way to integrate it.
no,
all,
there
you
are
know?
sometimes
You
I'm just
do.
literally like, holy shit. You know, before I know it, I'm gonna have kids and be married, and it's just gonna be
The
totally
soulless
different.
zombie.
It's like, you know what I mean?
I think you can always be young at heart. Like, I don't know.
How do you keep that? That's important.
That's what I'm asking.
but
And
like,
then also, I've noticed that I've become more risk adverse,
Yeah.
even in just the past 3 years. You know, like I feel like I used to be the guy cycling through Toronto and just telling my friend, "Oh, don't be a fucking pussy. Like, let's just go. The cars aren't gonna hit you, man. Just keep going. Like, what
You
were
can
you scared
still-
about?" And I feel like I would go downtown and bike now, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, like what the fuck?
what was I doing?
What was I doing?" Like, even just not wearing a helmet now, like I'm looking back and being like, "Damn, that's a lot of risk I took."
Okay.
Are you
I would
allowed
probably-
to not wear a helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's illegal technically, but
Really?
they don't really.
Oh, I didn't know
They don't
that.
really
No, but Jose, you
come
also
after
live
you.
in a city that doesn't facilitate that kind of lifestyle. Like, I
here.
mean,
Yes.
yeah, so that's why you
So
maybe feel that
I've
way.
been distanced from the
But if you were to
realities
go
of-
back, you'd get right back into it.
maybe I would hope so.
1000%.
Or
I mean, you
would,
might just wear a helmet, but you'll still do it.
but that's even that. It's like it's a change in my personality.
You think?
I wouldn't have worn a helmet for my life
No.
back then, but maybe
Some
now I
amount
would
of
think
risk
about it.
averseness in a healthy way is good. Like, I think continue biking, do all the same shit, but just wear a helmet. Like, that's called smart.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Exactly.
still live your life, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
We
just
go
the
skiing.
differences.
That's just as
I wear a
that's
helmet.
pretty risky. Yeah, but like what I'm saying, you that adventurous side of you is still there.
It's still there, I know.
Of course,
I
it's
know.
still there. Like,
So, but
don't
it's not quite the same.
the
you know?
mindset of thinking, oh shit, I'm getting old and I'm losing myself and I'm gonna get married and have kids and like that is the problem right there. Why don't you look at it as a great thing, as a fun thing? And
I don't know.
It might just be
I'm not saying
exciting.
you don't idealize it and think this is going to be great. I just think for me it's holy shit. I used to think about this as I have so much more time to get there,
Yeah.
and now being close to it, it's like, damn. Before I know it, I'm going to be a grandparent, and death is staring me down the.
Oh my god.
But that's just.
Yeah, it's just a horrible way to think.
Life is so short.
Wait till you turn 30, dude. It's gonna be like,
Oh, I'm not-
holy
that's-
shit! I need to go faster. Like I was like 30. I didn't really feel it. Like by 31, though, I was kind of like, shit. Like I gotta get moving. Like I got shit to do. Like life's about to be over. Like all the things I want to accomplish, like financially or like even relationship wise or like just
Yeah.
life wise. Like I gotta get moving on this shit.
You kick it in
Like,
the fifth gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
know
like-
that's what I was. That's what I think is going to creep up. I think that's my thing. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Mostly is shit. I'm losing time.
Running
here,
out of
and
time
I
here.
I gotta do some shit that I've always wanted to do. I grew up thinking that I was gonna do.
I don't know. I still like see like a lot of people who are living. I mean, I think they're living their best lives, but like, and they're still doing like adult shit. Like maybe just have kids, but like still have their dream career. or like, you know, I don't know, like, okay, well, maybe kids is not the best example, but like just getting old in general.
Once you get to a certain point in age, and it comes sooner
But
than you
he
think,
feels
you'll
it.
realize that you can't have everything, and you're gonna have to choose some things.
Something.
That's sad.
That's sad.
That's the midlife crisis right there.
It's sad, but just learn, just choose wisely.
But
That's the midlife crisis.
no, but you're only 25. You shouldn't be thinking that
the quarter
way.
life crisis.
No, but it's
creeping
Don't
up.
let it like hurt you, like, you know, psychologically, but start taking action now.
No, exactly. No,
Yeah.
I thought I agree.
'Cause
like,
these are years.
There's a lot of things in my life right now that I'm already thinking of taking action for because I'm like, I don't know, like I want, like I hear so many successful people saying, do what you fucking love. And that's not easy. There's a majority of society who do shit they don't love. That's just because they feel like they have to pay the bills or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But like, I'm 27. I can still make that happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to freaking try my best
Go for
to.
it. You're doing it
Like,
right now.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
And it
Go for the
feels
throat.
great.
Like, go all in.
Like, you know, it feels great to do something you love. And I know that's like a cheesy thing to say,
It's not
but
cheesy.
it really fucking makes a difference.
98% of people don't do that.
They don't do that, but it makes a difference on your energy, how much effort you put into things, the dopamine, the you know, care, the love, you know, it makes
The fulfillment.
such a difference. Fulfillment, like, yeah, so.
The rewards.
It's the rewards.
Yeah.
So like, I think no matter what age, I think you can make it happen at any age. There's people like, even like let's just say Joe Rogan. I know we say his name in every podcast.
Five
but
for five.
5 for 5. He was in his 40s when he hit the jackpot with Spotify or whatever. Like, you know, that's when his life really started to change. Like, you're in your 40s, so like, I mean, it can
Oh,
happen.
yeah. Colonel
anytime.
Sanders started KFC at like 65.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it can happen anytime, but to me, you just have to have that drive, and then it'll get there. But if you're now thinking like, "Fuck, life sucks," like, it's
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying life sucks. I'm
No.
saying it's just life is short.
Yeah, life is.
And
short.
as you get older, you start to realize it more.
Yeah. that's
And
true.
for me, it's also thinking back at wasted time. You know, days that I was just sitting in my room getting stoned instead of doing things that were.
But that's also
That's a
that was
better
also
way.
Those
something
are-
you shouldn't regret, because like those were good times too, right?
Those
were
were great times. Yeah,
Great times. Like, I mean,
great times.
Yeah.
I remember the times.
But they're
when
just
you're-
normal thoughts. I think people
Yeah.
generally have those thoughts, and the psychology behind them is interesting.
finding a way to balance like what to spend the time and like focus the time on what you like need to achieve the things you want in life, but then also somehow having the balance to like step back
have
and have
fun.
those alone, like those me time.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you get to have fun and do what you enjoy. I
Balance.
feel like most people are either too far in
Too
one
far.
side or the other. It's really hard. Like balance is almost impossible. Like
Well, yeah, no, I agree, but I think like I don't know. I feel like I have a decent balance right now because I know of other people who don't like sometimes know how to stop, or they keep going, or maybe on a weekend when you should be really like not doing work, like just because I think everyone's brain needs that reset time. You don't realize how valuable it is until you're Tuesday in the freaking weeds at work and you're like, I really should have took that time
Yeah.
to reset my brain. Your brain needs to reset. So you can actually be very productive. If you don't give it that time, you're not going to be productive.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you just put too many things on the plate, and
Yeah, and you have to do
it's
it.
like,
You have to do it. Yeah. I get that. Which I understand the crunch, and I understand like going above and beyond, but like it can't be all the time. And if that's your life, you need to change something.
yeah, no,
yeah.
for sure.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Yeah. Yeah. So trying to figure out how to do life. It's not easy.
Yeah, like the whole work hard, play hard thing doesn't work forever either. You know, like
Work
go
hard.
like you
No.
work like 7 days a week, and you go to Vegas on like the third Friday of the month, and you just party all weekend. You come back, get back to work. It's like I tried that, man. It's not. You'll burn out.
You burn out. You burn out. Like a lot of people look at our American culture like that. Like they say you just work way too hard. Why are you working so hard? Like,
Oh yeah,
you know, the French culture looks at us and they're like,
yeah. They're like, are you having lunch at your desk? Are you crazy?
yeah.
Like,
Which it sounds like such a nice thing to actually take your half an hour lunch and go
go to a park
and
and sit down with a
eat your
basket and
lunch.
have like a picnic
But I feel like
and like a glass of
a
wine.
glass of wine with the Eiffel Tower and the view, and then you go back and work, right? But no, it's I mean, I think you can do that. It would be ideal, but I think, like we said, we overload the plate because we think that equals success.
Yeah.
an extent.
Yeah.
Well, it
no.
does equal success. I mean, Americans are
Yeah.
But what is
generally
success?
more
though?
What is
financially
Define-
successful.
Define success.
financially?
Financially successful.
But is financially successful always happy? No.
No, but
Definitely not.
The results are there. Americans are the most productive, probably the most productive people
Yeah.
in the world. I mean, that's
Yeah.
why America is what it is, and that's why France is, France.
But France is also great. Like,
Oh, it's great.
It's laid
Yes,
back.
the
It's
people
nice.
are great.
I think you want a mix of both.
Actually, maybe not the people, but the culture is great. The fact that you can, take your time to do things that are healthy for your mental well-being and your work-life balance. That's all really important. That exists in Spain, Germany. It exists in a lot of places. Americans are just not built that way. We're built to basically enslave ourselves to our jobs to be the most productive so that you can be the most successful financially and not think about the other
work-life
things that
balance.
actually might matter.
Yeah. No, like when I went to Guyana for the first time and we went to this little island where the natives lived, it was called Arrow Point. I was almost like shook. I was like, wow, the simplicity of life.
Yeah.
That you never see in North America. Like no matter where you go in North America, you will never experience that. The like, I don't know how to explain it, but the bliss of just like natural living and like going to catch your food in the ocean and cooking it. And then like literally for the rest of the day, you just got some Bob Marley on and you're sitting on the beach chilling. But like the next thing I need to worry about is how I'm going to eat tomorrow. Like that's the only thing I have to worry about.
We're in a system here, guys.
Yeah.
Like this system here is we got to work so we can eat, so we can, and it works.
So we can travel, so we can have vacation, so we can post on Instagram, show people how great our lives are.
It's insane.
The cycle continues.
It's an insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The stress.
The stress.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress.
Yeah. Like, how can you? I think it's nice to work. Like I do love working. I do, but how do we involve like that work-life balance in that to relieve
But what
the
if
stress?
working was like catching fish in the river or like going to the garden and like
Sounds
nurturing
peaceful.
some things and then coming back and just cooking it and then sitting in a hammock and just like chilling with your people and like then the next meal is just in the river. It's like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Of course. It is nice, but I think because we're so manufactured to this lifestyle, if we're there for too long, we would want the hustle and bustle again.
I don't know. Maybe we're broken now.
Or we could be broken.
Yeah, you'd be
We're definitely
upset.
broken. You'd be like,
You can't even sit still
you
for
can't sit
2
still for
hours.
5 seconds.
I've been corrupted by the system.
Yeah. No, my ADHD.
You're always like, go. I need to. What are we doing? What's the next activity? What
I know.
Yeah.
I could chill.
Oh, Jose can chill. I think
I could chill for a solid week.
I'm learning how to chill. I used to be like Zane, where I would constantly, and I still do. Ask Jose. It'll be like a Saturday where like, he gets up, he showers, we go to the gym, and then he can just relax all day. I'm home. After the gym, I'm cleaning the whole house, and then after I'm cleaning, I'm doing something else, and then like probably will sit down for like an hour or two at the end of the night. But I cannot sit on the couch all day. I just feel unproductive. I feel like I get anxiety because I'm like, I feel like I should be doing something.
I think that means there's something slightly wrong with us.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
Because we should technically be able to relax.
You're a little ADHD.
Oh, I have ADHD for sure, but
For sure, you're diagnosed.
it's probably from the
It's
vaccines.
a real medical condition, Jen.
I'm self-diagnosed. Just because,
But I'm not a doctor.
I'm diagnosed.
yeah.
You are?
But I don't believe in diagnoses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, these mental health diagnoses.
it's
Yeah.
a pseudoscience a little bit.
Yeah, it's
like
not,
it's subjective. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
It's up to your interpretation and their
yeah,
interpretation. It's
of
not like
the symptoms and conditions.
Oh, for sure.
But
I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm just saying it's not solid.
If you hear all of the terms now that are out nowadays for all these diagnoses and like, I mean, I'm sure they're real things, but it's crazy.
No, we're over diagnosing people with mental situations, or at least telling everybody that they need therapy to solve their problems.
Did you watch that Joe Rogan episode with that girl?
Yes.
Bad therapy.
Yeah, bad therapy. So a lot of people, think that we're just narcissists. We feel like we need to be told that something's wrong with us, or that we need to be taken care of, or we just want to find answers to things that maybe don't have answers, and that's how you have to deal with it, and just try to work it out yourself.
Well,
We're hyper introspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the point of like actually harming ourselves.
Well,
At some point,
but
yeah.
I think it's also because society is not used to technology. I think we're just we're in the guinea pig phase still, technically. Because with social media and all this stuff, I feel like people are just now turning this into everyone has a problem, and it's maybe that's just the effects of social media. Maybe people do have problems now because of it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, social media is a big part of it, but it's not the whole answer to it.
No, but
Yeah, there should definitely
something shifted with social media.
Oh, the whole world changed.
The whole world
with
changed.
social media.
Yeah.
And we're
It's
just
interesting.
living through it.
And we're contributing to it. We're adding podcasts. We're adding posts. We're adding content.
We're adding
Yeah.
content.
I mean,
I hope it's
it's the world we live in now. So
yeah, exactly. We've adopted to it.
I think I'll go back to the jungle soon, though.
I think
Guyana.
temporarily.
Yeah.
I would love to go live in Africa for a bit and see what it's like.
Yeah.
It's always been that's been one of the trips I've always wanted to go on. So.
I've never been super excited to do that.
Really? To go
It's
to
not
Africa?
really my...
Africa, or just a tribal thing, or specifically Africa?
No, I wouldn't mind going to South Africa, maybe to...
It's because you didn't have a Cafrica.
Egypt, maybe...
Africa, go to a real lion safari
Morocco.
in Africa. Go walk with the
But the Sahara
giraffes.
or the real the real Africa,
What about Tanzania? In where the tribes are.
true, or a lot of wild.
Joe's.
I guess it would be interesting, but to me, the first thing that comes up is first of all, diseases, food.
Vaccines.
I'm not taking a goddamn vaccine.
This is your risk averseness right here coming out.
No, it's not
Yeah.
even that. It's just it just sounds unpleasant. I'm not gonna.
Jose, what about taking
a
you
trip
to,
is a trip.
What about taking you to Guyana or going to India?
But Guyana might be a bit more, at least it's within the side of the world that
South America.
Yeah, South
Close enough
American.
to Colombia, you might be able to find an arepa somewhere.
But you'd go to China?
But China is a little bit more developed.
China's freaking more developed than half of this country.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You just said because it's within my cultural region.
No, what I'm saying is I'm just not that interested in going and living with tribes.
You got to go to India and see the worst, and the best, and then just experience.
Well, I'm
it.
just saying
Because it shapes your mind.
I agree. I'm not saying it wouldn't be interesting. I'm just saying it's not the top of my list.
No,
I just find that it might be a little uncomfortable, and it would just.
What did Kevin Hart say? You got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
To be comfortable, yeah.
You got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Which, by the way, that roast was pretty solid.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Pretty solid.
I only
You
saw
didn't
this
even see the
second half.
Yeah, we should put on the Tony Hinchcliffe one for you. Because
Yeah.
He went off, dude. I knew he was gonna be.
He
was
just
gonna
got
have
up
the
there
best-
he
best
was
set.
he got up there with the
Like the
confidence.
sheriff, you know?
I'm the fucking best comedian in this town.
He has that cockiness to him all
No.
day long, any day of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, he went up there
Yeah.
exactly what I expected him to do. He went crazy.
But yeah, on that topic, it's just interesting, the whole uncomfortable to be comfortable thing. You know who told me that? John Jacobs, the guy from one of the customers we took out for dinner.
Oh,
Remember we had dinner at that restaurant?
Yeah.
And he was telling us a lot. He's really successful. He's doing really well. He's
Very smart guy.
Very smart guy. And he literally kept preaching that whole night. The only way to grow is to be uncomfortable. You
That's what he
have
said?
to
He
put
kept
your-
saying that?
He kept saying that throughout the night.
I can't remember that.
No, I remember because I had a conversation with my friend after about it because I was very inspired. But it's important to force yourself to
no
be
pain, no gain.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Force it.
That's true.
Yeah.
The hardest-
Then you'll just realize
The best things in life
it's
for
not
you
that
are
bad.
the most difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's not that bad. After when you experience it, you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
No, it's 100% true. Like, how many times in your life have you like been afraid of something, and then when you actually ended up conquering it,
You're like,
you went through that stage of like discomfort, and then now you own it.
yeah.
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 Yeah, anxiety is like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's got to push yourself. It's hard, but you got to push yourself to just get through it.
Yeah.
And then life's so much better after.
100%.
Yeah.
Because then the next time you feel that way or get through that, you're like, oh, I've been here, I've done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Experience. Yeah.
It's like the cold plunge. It's easy to do it every day. It's hard to do it once a week.
Yeah, because that's physically uncomfortable. Like,
yeah.
at like the highest level. Like, not the highest level, but like 8 out of 10.
Up
I
there.
weirdly don't find it that hard. I
Well,
don't know
you're
if
cold-blooded
it's just
anyways.
me. I'm a vampire. Yeah, no, something about like I put all body parts in, and yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna do it tomorrow morning,
I'll do it. 6:30 a.m.
Oh,
cold
God.
plunge.
6:30 a.m.
Maybe
Not
I'll
for me.
6:15 because I have to get ready after.
Not
sure.
for me.
I'm gonna try it. I'm see how it starts my morning.
Oh, it's going to be great. If
I'm
you
gonna
can
be-
get there.
yeah.
You're not gonna want to do it, but after you do it, you will not regret it.
You'll
Especially
not
being a
regret
little groggy in the morning, it might be tough. It's gonna be really tough.
It's not easy in the morning because
But-
you're just so...
But that's how you wake up.
That's how Joe Rogan starts his day.
Yeah.
I know. That's...
We gotta be Joe Rogan. The third time on this podcast mentioning shout out. No, I just think
No,
Joe
I
Rogan's
got to do it.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
No, I'm not doing it. I know the
Why?
feeling. I've done it. Last year I did a
you
whole
did it
like
every
2 months
morning. Yeah.
of cold shower. This I get it. I like it. It's great.
You just gotta
But
get back
I
into
just
it.
like
It's a mental thing, right?
I like my
The
warm
comfort,
bed.
the comfort of the
The
warmth
warm-
in the morning.
Yeah,
and not
I
for-
can do the cold plunge any other time. It's just the morning is tough for me. It's like also going to the gym. I really don't like to wake up early to go to the gym. I'd rather go in the afternoon.
Me too.
I've
For
always been
me-
an afternoon kind of person, especially working in the restaurant industry for a while. I would go to sleep at around 2, 3, 4 in the morning, wake up at 12, and I'd feel pretty good. I'd start going to the gym, and
That's the schedule I was raised into, but for different reasons.
Not because of work, just like staying up late.
Staying up late
Just
till
skipping
like 4 in the
class.
morning and like sleeping until like 10 a.m.
Yeah. Oh God, Zane, the amount of times your like alarm would be ringing for like half an hour and you wouldn't hear it. The whole house.
I
would hear
literally
your
bought the
alarm
world's
going.
largest, loudest alarm, like on Amazon. Like it had a disc this big that had a cable going to it that went under your mattress that shook the whole mattress. And then it had a just an insane siren that was like da, da, and like it was on the other side of the room, so I had to get out of the bed to hit
Take
it.
it off?
And I just sit there and sleep through the whole thing.
God
That's
damn
too
it.
much.
No, he it's serious. It's serious.
that's way too
Oh, I
much.
was gonna say something. Yeah, we're good. Hour and 12 minutes in. Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad. It's been a long day.
Yeah,
It's been a long day.
it's been a long day.
Freaking
You had to wrestle
exhausted.
the anacondas today.
Fuck. I don't feel
Oh,
bad for not going
yeah.
to the gym. That was not bad. People won't know what that means, but probably just think I'm wrestling some dicks, you know?
Yeah. That's probably what's the first thing that comes to most people's mind.
The anacondas. But yeah, guys, I guess maybe
Alright.
we can wrap this baby up. Episode number 5.
Officially 5. We've stayed somewhat consistent, guys. So
Pretty
cheers.
consistent,
Cheers to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, so
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
yeah,
Maybe in a different location. Might switch it up.
yeah. Maybe another one in Denver. I think it's-
we'll be coming to a
Denver.
city near you. See you guys.
Bye.
See ya.